Football then and now, a fun look at football nostalgia and the modern game intertwined. Join us. A warm welcome. This is a special celebration because it is the 100th episode of Football Then and Now. We are here, Chris. We've made 100 episodes and we're doing it special tonight because we've got 6 guests throughout the evening, separate interviews. Let's see how this goes. Technology, I'm crossing the fingers. But yeah, just 100 episodes, mate. We finally made it.
Yeah, do you know what? It's mad, isn't it? Obviously, we were doing Big Fight Weekly previously before we did this, and we got close, didn't we? Halfway, I'd say. But you know, we moved on to football because this is our first love, and this is something we can talk about forever. And you know, we've had full of guests on who share the same, you know, love for the game. So to get to 100, you know, and obviously minus me being away for a couple of months as well. So you know, I did miss a few here and there, but to get there, it's really good, and it's exciting to think that you know we've hit 100 and 100 more to come in it, and well, plus 100 more to come, I'd say.
Absolutely, and the rest we'll be doing this for years and years, mate.
Yeah, grey hairs will be coming.
We'll keep it going. We hit 70 with Big Fight in the end, I noticed. So very good, mate. You know, combined, mate, 170 episodes across them 2 shows, which I think is fantastic, mate. And Lewis Young in the comments, who watches us a lot, he supported us from day dot. He supported us with the other shows as well that we've done, and my wrestling show as well. Hiya, Lewis. Thanks for joining us, mate. And waiting in the wings is our first guest. I'm going to bring him in, Chris. It's a returning guest. It is Sam Leonard, True Adventures, TikTok creator, Instagram creator, Aston Villa fan, musician. Sam, great to have you back on, mate.
Absolutely.
All right, how are you guys?
All good.
Yeah, not
Can you
too
hear
bad,
me
Sam.
okay? Am I all right?
We can hear you loud and clear, Sam.
Nice to see you guys. Happy 100th episode.
Thank you very much, Sam.
Sam.
How's life as a Villa fan at the moment?
It's good. I think we're a bit nervous at the moment. We've lost our midfield to injury, and the other teams are starting to play again. So I think we're starting to get a bit itchy. A couple of weeks ago, we were thinking about the title, and it changes very quickly, doesn't it? And now we're thinking, oh God, do we just want to get in the Champions League? So the Villa fans are very nervy at the moment. Oh, do you know what started it? Everton. That's what started it. James Garner.
I told you this in your live chat on TikTok.
I know. You start. I was doing my TikTok and I was like, yeah, we're going to be great. Everything's great. And then you were like, yeah, watch out for James Garner. He's really good. I found out today that Villa, we weren't close to signing James Garner, but we were definitely interested in him during the transfer window because I think his contract hadn't been renewed yet, and Villa were looking, but I think then his contract was renewed and it never happened. But yeah, James Garner should have been sent off. Should have been as the PGMOL. We get a letter every week now from who was it? Was it Wolves last season? Was it Gary O'Neill when Wolves and PGMOL kept having to send him a letter every week going, oh yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, should have.
Yeah, it was VR, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's VAR every week. So now we're on a bit of a bad run with VAR, but hopefully it'll. And also you can tell Villa fans are nervous because we've started acting like Arsenal fans because people are uploading pictures of the ball. You know, the ball was like it was out of play in the last game.
Liam Bailey.
But we're doing that. People are uploading diagrams. If you look at it, do you know what I mean? Like in the transfer window when people start tracking private jets and stuff like that.
We do that a lot.
People start losing their heads. Like, if you look at the ball from this, it's like, mate, it was out. It's okay. Like, they did rewind quite far, but yeah. So I think we're starting to get a little bit itchy at the moment. So yeah, we just need no more injuries. That'd be nice. Also, we picked up this guy Onana from Everton, and he's very injury prone apparently. So,
cheers for the 55 million for that, by the way.
That's not going very well. No.
What did you think in terms of the weekend? I've got to ask you about that, coming off the back of Europe, of course. Now, my other Villa mate, he had a 4 ticket pass for the Europa he did that. So he goes to them. He does go to domestic
Oh
games.
yeah, all 4 games. Yeah.
He says you have a problem playing on a Sunday after Europe. This is what he's been telling me. This is when it's been happening.
No, he's actually incorrect. Last season in the Champions League we did, but I think we have won every game. I think Brentford is the first game that we haven't won. So we've won every game after Europe this season. So he's actually incorrect. But last year we did. Last year we did really struggle with the Champions League, but it takes a long time to get into that rhythm, because what you forget is it's not just the players, it's all the staff, it's all the people involved. They've all got to travel, and I think it's a lot to get to cope with. But we did a year of the Conference League, then we kind of leapt up to the Champions League, and I think we're finding our feet now with the Europa League. The truth is, I mean, football, there's a huge amount of luck involved in football, which nobody ever wants to admit. They all, oh, it's fine margins, and what they mean is you need a bit of luck, and also injuries. Injuries can really hit your season. I mean, there's huge historical kind of things in football. I mean, didn't so Villa in the 1992-93 season, Dalian Atkinson got injured. That's pretty much like if Dalian Atkinson hadn't have got injured, Villa were on for the title then, and that would have been Fergie's first title that he got. You know, sliding doors and all that. You know, Dalian Atkinson's injury may well have been the reason why Fergie got his first title and got over the line. And then you can think, I think, did Shearer break his leg? I think Shearer. No, Dion Dublin broke his leg. That's it. Dion Dublin broke his leg. And that's why they bought Cantona. So there's all these, like, injuries can have a huge effect. Marcus Rashford can owe his career to an injury crisis at Man United. So it might not be all bad for Villa. We may have some kind of shining kids that come through, but we'll see. But unfortunately, you guys have had an injury yourself with Grealish being out. That's a real shame, isn't it?
We got hit in one foul swoop. Everything, AFCON, like everybody else, as we've said on this show. But there was a knock-on effect with injuries. So we were threadbare. We weren't moaning. We knew that had happened. You know, if there were injuries, we were fully aware we didn't have the squad. But, I mean, if we're going to push for Europe the way it's going for next season, he needs to sign people. And we know that. Me and Chris have said about it various times. Allegedly, there's money in the kitty as well. There is money going to be available. But he's got to do the right business. He really has.
I think going looking now and looking at Tyreek George's signing, and you look at the age of Everton's team now, comparison to where it was, there's a lot more 24 and below than there is, 25 and above. If you think about it, Ashley Cole and Seamus Coleman are about 79 years age combined on the right flank, last season. So, I think he is bringing it down a lot. But, it's finding those gems that you can bring in, the likes of, say, Njai and see what Tyreek George is like. But we've seen bits and pieces, haven't we, for Chelsea? And it's being able to get those type of players in, and molding them into the way that obviously David Moyes wants. So it's tangibles, isn't it? One could go well, one could go bad.
Do you think? How are the Everton fans feeling about the style of football? Because at West Ham, that was kind of, he's West Ham's most successful manager of the past, God, I mean, what could you say, 30 years at least? 3 seasons in Europe, was it, and a European trophy? But they hated it, didn't they? They hated it. They couldn't, even after all that, they still wanted rid of him. Do you think Everton fans are more forgiving of Moyes' style of play because West Ham we're West Ham and we have to blah blah blah, but a bit like Tottenham, we have a way of playing? Do you think Everton fans are a bit more forgiving, or do you think it will end up the same way?
I think we've played some good stuff under him as well. As much as he's safe and steady Eddie, we've played some good football when everyone's fit, and he's got the players there, of course, Dewsbury Hall, Grealish, and Jai. We have got C clickers, we've got players there that can do it. I'll pass it to Chris, of course, as well. But I think we do play some good stuff under him. Then we were limited when we lost everybody the football was not great when they were all out, those players.
I'll be honest with you, Sam. I was not for David Moyes coming back. I mean, Stuart spoke about this on the show when it happened, but I'm happy to eat humble pie, and I'm happy to, take back what I said. But if you're going to say, are we happy? Yes, but considering we've been through Sean Dyche, Sam Allardyce, Koeman, the last 2 seasons of Martinez, because I won't complain about the first season because that was incredible because he mixed his style with David Moyes' style when Moyes went to United. We've seen some dog-awful managers come in and rip apart a team. Rafa Benitez, him as well. So I'm quite happy and content with what David Moyes is doing because he's doing it with such a small squad, and he does. Stuart will back me here. He likes a small squad, but it's getting rid of the rest of the deadwood that we still got. We still need to go in the summer, and we need to look at a right and a left back. Predominantly, we need to look at if we're going to keep Jackie, in the summer and work on a deal with City for Grealish, holding on to Njai because I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of suitors for him coming summer. I think you give Moyes another 12 months and then you move him upstairs. And with his mind going forward, he helps look for the next manager that embraces the same formation. Because obviously, as going back to the managers we've had previously, they all changed formation, all brought different styles of players in. So every manager was picking up someone else's player with a different formation in mind, and it went kaput. And, when you saw obviously the last couple of years, we've been fighting relegation and really holding on to our position in the Premier League. So I'm happy considering what we had to go through with Sean Dyche, and Stuart would be like, well, he kept us up, and I'd be like, yeah, but it was horrible football.
It was horrible.
I feel sorry for Forest fans because
it was horrible. There's no two ways about it, but he did have a tough time as well. But yeah, he didn't change his ways. I can't defend him on that. Brady Barlow, fellow villain, he's going to be on the show later because we've got 6 guests this evening for the 100th celebration. Sam, love your videos. I watch them every day, mate. Keep up the good work, mate, and up the Villa.
Awesome, Brady. Appreciate it.
Too many Villa fans on this show,
It's true.
We've got 3 Everton fans in total tonight as well. So there's a balance. There's 3 Villa, 3 Everton through tonight.
I was going to say, when you guys just listed your managers, then I was like, oh my God, I forgot about half of them. I mean, that is like, what a run. Allardyce, I forgot about Allardyce.
Ugh. I can't forget about him. I get reminded of him regularly.
Villa played Forest. I was at the Villa Forest game a couple of weeks ago, and I was really, really disappointed with Forest. They have played other games since, and they've actually been very good. In a couple of their games, but that particular game, I thought, oh my God, man! If you look at that team, I mean, they were just such a good team last season, and they've got some really good players like Morgan Gibbs-White. I think he must be one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. I think I would happily have him at Villa. He's really good, and they've got Murillo,
Elliot Anderson,
Milenkovic, Elliot Anderson, an England starting midfielder. But what he had him doing was just, it was so ugly. And I understand they're coming away from home, and Villa Park is a difficult place to go at the moment. But bloody hell, I was like, if I was a Forest fan, I'd be thinking, a year ago we were chasing the Champions League, and look what we've ended up with now for these Sean Dyche. I mean, he can stabilise it in the short term, but it never goes any further, does it? It's short term stabilisation, and then it's almost like you need to get him out within like 2 months or something, don't you?
Got a better squad than they have at Everton, and they're still not. It's just been that West Ham haven't been picking the results. They've had a few recently, but they keep falling off, don't they, when they're getting close to doing something. But he's got a better squad at Forest than they have at Everton.
Yeah,
he's going to play. He's going to play that way. By hook or by crook, he plays that way, and that's it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if Nuno ends up at Everton at some point.
We interviewed him. We interviewed him, Sam. We interviewed him. I don't know if it was after Koeman or was it after Silver Stewart, and he wanted to bring like a party-sized staff with him. He was renowned for bringing a lot of staff with him, and he went to Tottenham that year. Obviously, because we said no because the sheer amount of people he was bringing with him. I don't want him at the club. Thank you very much. There, you can have him after Emery goes to Real Madrid, though.
No. We're I don't know who we'd go for actually. I've got Tuchel in my head if Emery were to go. I think I'd look at Thomas Tuchel because whoever it is at Villa, they need. You're saying he needs 30 staff or whatever. Like Emery needs the whole club really. I don't think you get that at Real Madrid, but it's Real Madrid. You kind of got to take the job, I think, if they come in for you. But I think Villa would be looking for another kind of Emery to fill that gap, really, because otherwise they'd have to build a whole club structure from scratch. Really, I think that is going to be a real worry at Villa if Emery were to leave. It's not just losing Unai Emery. It's a bit like when Fergie left Man United. Fergie did everything, didn't he? He did the lot, and so you're having to kind of replace like 10 people. So anyway, I don't even want to think about it, to be honest. It's just
Diego Simeone's apparently free in the summer. He just to put it out there for you.
Yeah, maybe Simeone. What is he going to leave Atletico finally?
Rumoured, yeah.
I've heard that before.
I know so have I, but you know what? I'm just trying to spice it up for you.
I feel like he's more of a Chelsea man. I feel like he's more Chelsea.
Who wants to go to Chelsea?
Simeone.
Come on. You'd be sacked 2 months down the line.
No,
good
it's true.
payoff,
It's good for a little payoff, isn't it? I mean, I'd do a month at Chelsea.
Sam, we're gonna have to tie it for our next guest here for you. Of course,
we're on a short one.
Plug the channel, plug True Adventures, Aston Villa content that you do before you go, please.
Yeah, you can follow me on TikTok and Instagram, and I am gonna start a podcast soon, but I need to do it. Actually, it's
come
the
on,
doing,
man.
Isn't it?
Get it sorted. Get the wheels in motion for that, mate.
But yeah,
we're both available for you if you ever need us to help you on.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Well, happy 100th episode and congratulations. Great job.
We'll have you back on before the end of the season, of course. All the best in Europe and domestically. Sam Leonard, True Adventures, Aston Villa, TikTok creator, Instagram creator. Thank you so much for coming on the 100th episode.
Nice one. Up the Villa.
See you later.
Great having Sam back on, mate. Absolutely fantastic. And absolutely brilliant talking to him about Villa. We have got our next guest waiting in the wings. I'm hoping the technology is going to be all right tonight. There's going to be no tech issues whatsoever. We've got returning guest Man United fan Ryan Crooks back on the show. How are you doing, Ryan?
Hello. How are you, hi, guys. How you doing?
Not too bad, thank you.
Mate, all good. Now, mate, currently, how well is it going under Michael Carrick? You must be elated.
Do you know what it is, guys, right? Get that contract, get him to write whatever he wants on it, right? United are back. No, I'm joking. That's a Rio special. No, look, I'm very happy, obviously, with how we've been doing so far. But also very aware of what might happen in the near future. And I guess in a way, you don't want to ever lose a game, but I'm really intrigued to see how this team and Carrick bounce back from a bad result. Because mentality is a big thing at Man United. It has been for years. And when you're riding that crest of a wave and you keep winning and you keep getting these, don't get me wrong, even the Fulham game nearly went wrong. 94th minute winner. I know they scored a 90th minute equaliser, but when Casemiro went off against Fulham, we just fell apart. And what's slightly concerning is that's going to be asking Casemiro, who picks up regular yellow cards, to not get suspended, not get tired, not need to rest a game to the end of the season. And he's 34. So the drop-off to Ugarte is just tragic. Thank God Mainu's back in the team. I mean, that's been a revelation. And yeah, like I say, they're all playing amazingly well. I think Carrick, he's doing a good job. I don't think this is all vibes. I think there is a bit of tactics in there. I think he's definitely got a good bit of tactics going on. I think the Ahmad and Mbeumo partnership is just really, really strong, really flourishing. Sesko's getting there with his confidence. We're definitely still short in a decent few positions. There's a decent lack of squad depth there for sure. But with Ineos and the Glazers in charge, guys, they've done nothing in January again. They've done no support whatsoever for Carrick. There's rumours of Ndidi, for example, the old Leicester midfielder, coming in on loan. don't get me wrong, I'm not jumping for joy, but he's a Premier League proven player that could cover Casemiro for a few games, and it would have been really important support. And they didn't even bother doing that. Now they're talking about in the summer, oh, we're getting Elliot Anderson. That's our number one target. We're definitely getting Elliot Anderson. Well, Man City want Elliot Anderson. So how are we definitely getting him? We might not even get top 4. If we don't get top 4, you're not getting Elliot Anderson. So it's like, they've got to be careful with it. But yeah, ultimately, you cannot be disappointed with City and Arsenal back-to-back wins. I mean, it wouldn't have happened under Amorim, that's for sure.
Just amazing, Chris.
You mentioned Casemiro, and obviously now it's come out now. Obviously, he's going at the end of the end of the season. Obviously, you again mentioned Elliot Anderson. Is he your prime that you would want to replace Casemiro with, or is there anyone else out there that you would really take that you can get to replace Casemiro?
Do you know what's a really good question? Because I hear it a lot about, like, is Elliot Anderson enough to replace Casemiro? And if you're replacing the Casemiro that won 5 Champions Leagues, then no, he's not enough. But if you're replacing the current Casemiro, then yeah, I think he probably is. I like the idea, obviously, of the player being Premier League proven. I mean, if you look at the adaptation to the league between Kuna, Mbeumo and Sesko, there's a big difference here. The Premier League guys have settled in straight away. Sesko's taken a hell of a lot more time to settle in. And whenever he interviews after the game, Sesko, he speaks really well. And he says things like, because when I took that chance I missed in Germany, I had so much longer to take my chance. I had so much longer on the ball. And he actually openly says it. So he's admitting that the league is tougher. It's taking him time. From what I hear behind the scenes, people are saying, like old coaches and that, saying his mentality is incredible and they all back him to be a world-class player. So I'm happy with what I'm hearing about the training and the effort and things like that. But I think the adaptation to Premier League players is vital for us right now because we need to hit the ground running again next season 100%. So I think it's going to be between Anderson, Baleba and Wharton, who they try and sign. I would lean towards Anderson out of those 3. It would have been Baleba last year, but this year's just been a horrible drop-off, so I'm just not quite sure what's happening there. And it could be reality because he didn't get his Man United move, which people will think that's a good thing because he did come, but you should still play well for Brighton. You shouldn't drop off. Your mentality should still be, I'll do a respectful job for this club until I get my move. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if there's anyone, who do you guys think would be good for our midfield? I mean, other than those 3 I mentioned, I'm not hearing many other names.
Was it who was it from Wolves you were looking at?
Gomez.
Yeah, you were looking at João Gomez, weren't you? I like Wharton.
I don't rate him high enough, mate, to be honest. I
prefer Andre. I prefer Andre, the Brazilian, but he plays more defensive side for Wolves. I like Adam Wharton. I think he's got a huge potential. I think if you were going for it, it'd be him and Elliot Anderson, isn't it? They're quite similar style players.
Do you think Adam Wharton, though, do you think, as Adam Wharton at this age now, what he's played, the level he's played at, walks into a starting 11 at Man United every week and replaces Casemiro? Experience-wise, mentality-wise, it's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, but he's playing in Europe this season as well, so that's another, a notch on his belt, isn't it, for experience? Sure. And he will go to England, you would imagine, for the World Cup. So, again, he's gaining experience through that. It's one of them. For me, I like both players, and if I had the money, I'd be greedy and I'd get them both. But we all can't be like that because PSR would come chasing through the door again.
I'm talking about a midfield revamp though, where they do want 2 starting midfielders in the summer because they didn't buy one in January. But then one of them is likely to be almost like a backup, and one of them is likely to be a starter. And with the backup, we're linked to people like what's his name, the guy in Germany, Stiller. Who plays for, I think it's Stuttgart, who's a box-to-box midfielder, about 30-40 mil. So, again, a much cheaper alternative than these Premier League guys we're hearing about. But one I really was interested in, that we were also linked with in January, originally as a loan to buy, was Ruben Neves, who went to the Saudi Pro League. I've always liked Ruben Neves. I think what he can do with football at his feet is a bit Bruno Fernandes-esque. He's got that quality passing but a bit stronger and a bit more able to be a bit more of a DM as well as a 10. So I liked that idea, especially on a short-term deal. I didn't even mind the Ndidi deal, like I mentioned, not short-term, just to cover, because he's Premier League proven. Yeah, he's got injury record problems and stuff, but if he can get through half a season, that's not our problem after that. You know what I mean? That goes back to his parent club. But the dream signing for me, I think, when I've been thinking about it since you asked the question, mate, was I think where we went to Real Madrid and we got Casemiro, we went to get a proven player who's played at the very highest level and has got the experience around him. And they're always both linked with a move away from Madrid, even though I can't see why they would want one. But both Tchouaméni and Camavinga are often linked with moves away. Now, either of those two would be fine for me. Either of those two would work perfectly.
I'd go English. I think you need that grit. And again, they've played on the continent. I get it. They've been in Spain for years. But I think it's got to be one of the English lads. I'd be veering towards Anderson.
I am out the English boys. I am on Anderson.
What he's done, and he's obviously been picked for England a lot, hasn't he, as well, since Tuchel's been in. But I think it has to be someone English, mate, in the centre there. I really, really do. I did see a link with. I did see a link for another couple of clubs. I don't think we were involved in it on deadline day. I think it was Arsenal mainly for Tonali from Newcastle. I'm a big fan of Tonali. I think he's a top player. I know,
to get him out of Newcastle, though, right?
Well, this is the thing, though. But my Newcastle mate, who's like always talking to me about like all the different teams and stuff, he was saying like, please take him. Like he's dropped the stinker nearly every game this year. He's like, I actually watch every minute of Newcastle, not just like the highlights like everyone else. Like he's just dropped off a cliff. He doesn't run around much anymore. He just looks disinterested. I was like, well, he was thinking of 100 million move away. And he was like, well, we paid 52, so take him for that money. And I was like, I don't think you'd have to pay 100, but you'd have to pay well up into 65, 70 territory, I think, to get Tonali. But he's not that old, is he? What is he, like 26, 27, something like that?
He's mid to late, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, so he's got loads of years in the tank. I mean, I would take Tonali.
I read Arsenal linked with him as well. It literally went, obviously, up to the deadline day. Arsenal was sniffing around him. Apparently, allegedly, you see all these things, but my Arsenal mate was saying about it. Said like Tonali had been linked, but again, like Chris says, it's severing away now at this point in the season. It wouldn't materialise, I don't think. But he's very good.
No,
so
I don't think so.
Reaffirming what you said about him, very good. Ryan, I've got one question before you go because we've got Mr. Mitchell waiting in the wing. Can you keep hold of top four? Can you do it? What do you think just before you go?
We can, but if we will is another question. I think we've got the capabilities. It's going to all depend on having a stinker, having a bad defeat, and bouncing back next week immediately, and not having this slump where all the players start stropping around, walking around the pitch, like what we've seen over the years with Amorim, Ten Hag, etc. I think as soon as we have a bad result, if Carrick can get them straight back on it again, then yes, I think we'll keep top four. I don't back Liverpool or Chelsea to build enough consistency in what they're doing. They both seem to be on and off it every other week. One week they look great, next week they look terrible. Like Chelsea last night, for example, looked absolutely appalling. They had to score and they didn't know how to do it against Arsenal in the Cup. So I don't worry about that. Like if this was us against, say, an informed Newcastle from a few years ago or an informed Liverpool, then I'll be like, yeah, okay, this is concerning. But Arsenal are probably the only team in the league on consistent form. It's been a weird year. Like you guys started pretty badly, right? And now you're right up there. I looked at the other day. You're like, what, 4 or 5 points off us, aren't you? I looked the other day. It's
far behind. It's all we've had some solid results. We've had some bad games in amongst all that, but yeah, it's just
what I mean. The consistency for the whole league. You can have a few bad games and you're still right in the mix. It's a really strange season, isn't it?
You can be in that bottom half at the top and you're still in contention. You're not far off.
That's what I mean. Like we could end up like 10th after like 1 or 2 bad results, or we could end up 3rd after 1 or 2 good results. It's like, Villa are being dragged back into it a little bit now, aren't they? They're like being considered for 4th or 5th again now. They were right up there at one point. Like City are falling away already, almost making it a one-horse race. But do you know what? I'll leave this as a point as I leave. I still don't think Arsenal have got this in the bag. I don't. Okay. I still think City could creep on them because they go on that 10-11 game unbeaten run they love to do around this time of year. If they start that again, I just think, Arsenal are... I don't know. I'm not going to say they're not playing that well, but they had their bad result the other week against us, and they've had a few results where they've dropped points. when I think they shouldn't have done. Obviously, the Leeds game, everyone's going, they're back. It's only 4-0 against Leeds. To me, doesn't solidify anything, not in my opinion. But yeah, I think we need to just keep going. I'm disappointed we didn't get any transfers. I think that might be our hindrance because let's say next week, like, touch wood, it doesn't happen, but let's say Casemiro does a season ender. I don't know where we'll be then. I really don't. Like, Ugarte, every game, you're dropping so many points.
You've got to remain positive, though, because it's been fantastic. Three wins under the boss man. The Fulham game could have been sticky, and it proved to be a little bit.
It was sticky.
I think the Arsenal game and the City game, it was we're less so. You know, your tactics were fantastic in them games, but yeah, the Fulham game, I think a lot of the fans felt that beforehand. I think they thought that was going to be a tougher test, that game.
Everyone was saying it's harder than the City Arsenal game because with them games, we can do what we often do against a high possession team, which is play on the break and dominate on the counter attack, which is what we did. But when you're playing a team like Fulham that aren't going to just constantly attack you, they're going to play quite defensively as well. You know, it's what they call the low block, isn't it? And Man United have one striker up front. They can't create them tiki-taka sort of moments to break down that defence, that low block. We always struggle with that, which is why we struggle with mid to lower teams in the table, sometimes a lot more than the top sides. We often go to the Etihad or Anfield or wherever and get a result. It often happens. Even in bad seasons, we squeeze a result out of a top side. And, you know, we need to get more consistency into how we actually play the game week on week.
Ryan, mate, it's been great having you back on because it's been a while. So
thank
you. Sorry, it's brief. We're going to get plenty of guests on tonight, but we will have you back on again. As we said to Sam, we'll have you back on before the end of the season. Still loads to go. And all the best to Michael Carrick because it's been brilliant. It's been absolutely brilliant. And
see what you can do, yeah? Hopefully. Let's see what you can do. But look, guys, thanks for, again, having me on. Congrats on the episode. 100 episodes, fantastic. Love being a small part of this little community you're building. So all the best for that. And I'll see you all soon.
Take care, mate.
Thank you, mate. All the best.
Thank you to Ryan there, of course. Very positive about United, positive times, Chris. You know, great start for Carrick. He could be the man. He could be the man. It might not be a case of Glasner going there. You know, they may very well stick with him, mightn't they?
They got it, yeah. But you're also got to be cautious with the whole Ole Gunnar Solskjaer effect as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
With that,
yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, there's still games to play. We'll see how he gets on.
Definitely. And we're going to Yorkshire now. We're going to a man who's on for his third appearance on the show. It's Sheffield United. Sheffield Wednesday fan, Dean Mitchell.
I'm off already now. Look at that face.
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
And that kidding.
He's got a kit on, though. He's got his kit on. I am so sorry.
So you should be saying that word in my presence.
Dino, I've got to ask you, the latest with Sheffield Wednesday. And what is going on?
Latest, we've got enough money to last to the end of the season. That's the first thing. Second thing, we've signed some loan players. Emil Heskey's son from Man City, he's over with us now till the end of the season. We've got one from Palace. There's been a few from all over the place, but main thing that's happened is we've lost Bailey Cadamadre for about $1 million. From Wrexham. He's gone to Wrexham. And the one that broke my heart is Barry Bannon. Barry Bannon's left and joined Millwall.
It was a mainstay for years, mate.
Tell me about it.
He's been through it all.
My shirt curse happened again.
I've got one of them, you know. Stuart will tell you about my shirt curse.
Go on.
Every player goes on the back. It did go down the shitter.
December 25th, I got my Bannon shirt and he gets sold within 6 weeks. You tell me what else with that.
Shit luck, I'd say.
Yeah, it's bloody shit shirt and all. bleeding DH gate for you.
How are other fans about it all at the moment? You know, friends of yours, within the club.
It's mixed now. It's a lot of mixed emotions now because everybody's at each other's thoughts. We've had this preferred bidder. This administrator being preferred bidder, he's been accepted now, and we've got to go through this due diligence of him not knowing who he is and where he is, and what's happening with that. And we get all that, but it's been second on so long. Administrator came out with a statement yesterday, said what they've been doing and everything. All the players and staff paid now for the four consecutive months, which has not happened in like 5 years. They've £1 million support loan has been repaid in full. Match day operations have been invested. They've invested in new systems and everything. And the best one, £350,000 has been spent on essential safety work on the north stand roof. So the nets, I think the nets that surrounding the speakers have come off, but I'm not sure yet. I'll have to get a photograph to prove it.
Well, you were saying about that when you were first on with me about the nets and all that. So surely they've got to get it sorted, Dean, if they haven't already, of course.
We've got Chansiri now coming back to us because he owns the stadium. He bought the stadium himself. He's now saying that it's got to be a separate entity, that he should have some more money offers when the administrators pay the fees. Because he gets 25 pence in every pound. It's above when it's 30 million. If it's below 30 million, the bid, then we start next year with minus 18 points, minus 15 points.
Oh my God, that would be catastrophic. That back to back deductions. That's the last thing you need, because that was going to be my next question. Take that out of it for a minute. How did you think you'd fare? Taking out the points deductions and they weren't there, how do you think it will go? Can you get straight back up to the championship in one season?
Well, I don't know how far this transfer embargo has gone, because we're supposed to not being allowed to sign transfers now till 2027. That's what I've heard. I'm not sure, but I'll be honest, we're just playing kids now, and it's not fair on them. Every 2 seconds we're just getting the kids in, and we're seeing them lose. We had a dry January. Our dry January was that we never scored a goal in the whole of January. That's bottom line of Wednesday at the moment. Our goalie came back from injury, Pierce Charles, and then he got injured. He saw his shoulder, his other shoulder. So we've had to go out an emergency loan and get another goalkeeper. He's come in. It's heartbreaking. It's like one thing after another. And every time we've had a good kid, he's been sold. Like we've lost one at the start of the year to Man City. He's gone there. And another one to Chelsea in the last few weeks. He's gone down there. But you can't blame them when kids are getting big offers from Premiership clubs and saying, look, we've got this to offer you. Especially when you're in a place where everybody seems to be like, it's just, you're getting beat through 2-3-0 every week. And it's heartbreaking for you. It's totally heartbreaking.
Chris?
I'm going to take you away a bit here, Dean. I want to give, it's a bit of a true or false question, this. So I did a bit of research. Is it true that Eric Cantona had a trial for Sheffield Wednesday before the Premier League began?
Yes, he did. He joined us before he joined Leeds United. There is a famous picture of Eric Cantona in a Sheffield Wednesday shirt playing an indoor six-a-side tournament. He then came out, and Trevor Francis apparently wanted to watch him play on grass and stay for another week on trial. And Eric said no. He went up the road and he signed for Leeds United. And
I've seen said photo, by the way. I've come across that one. That was a good one, that.
I was just quite intrigued because, you know what I mean? It's a big what if, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a big one. I mean, I love Trevor Francis for what he did to the club and we fetched, but we could have had Cantona in that midfield.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Different game then, isn't it?
Oh, different. It would have been completely different, but we'll never know. We'll never know. So that, yeah, it's true. It is very, very true.
We're probably going to run the risk of you never coming back on the show after my faux pas in the intro. that could be a stone.
You know the worst bit? Do you know what's the worst bit of this season? If it carries on the way we're going and losing games, guess what the game is that we get relegated on?
No, not
well,
then.
Now I feel even worse. I feel even worse now for that.
Yeah, when we play them at their place this month, that is the game. If we keep losing every game, we will get officially relegated at their ground, at their stadium.
Nothing worse.
Breaks my heart. I'm just begging for a win. I'm just like, can somebody just let us win? Just please. And Barry Bannon's back at Hillsborough on the 14th of February. He's coming back with Millwall. Is he going to get applied everything? I just like the number he's been given, 6'7". Everybody's going, 6'7". I'm like, what the bleeding was on about? But apparently his daughter said, you've got to have 6'7". So
I hear that every day. every day.
Very current. Very current. Oh my days! But yeah, it's such a shame about him. But the plight of the club and the mess that the club's in, it's just.
I've now got to a stage where I get to a stage now where I don't even look at the results because I'm like, are we still 0-0 at half time? Yeah, but my only thing is with the manager is he doesn't do substitutions very well. He waits till about the 20 minutes before the end before he'll do any subs, and he's all defense. There's a lot of things happening online of his tactics and everything that goes with it, and I think Wednesday fans now we've got to a point we've accepted our fate and everything. But it's at the same time, it's like, can we just have some goals, please? It's worse than the 70s. I remember when Sheffield Wednesday were the 70s, and we went for ages without scoring a goal. It's just like it's worse than the 70s for me. This because I remember all the third division days, and how we nearly went into the fourth and we had nothing. But this is really, really worse than it. And then I felt in the 70s with Wednesday as a small kid. I've never known it like this. I've never ever known it like this.
I just hope for your sakes that second deduction doesn't happen. Start of next season. That's the worrying thing.
The one good thing about it all is it wasn't Mike Ashley that got the preferred bid. He was so close to coming in and taking over Wednesday. We're going, oh God, not Mike Ashley, please. And it split the fan base again. It was yes, no. But then he didn't get it. So we were, thank God for that. It's the people that play Dunfermline, I think it is. It's Dunfermline. It's the guy that runs Dunfermline Football Club that's going to be the new owner of Sheffield Wednesday. So we'll see. We've got one thing with the new owner. Can we have this back? That's all we want. We want this as the badge back. That's all we want. We don't want the Chancery badge anymore. We understand about the original, but every Wednesday fan is united saying, can we have this back? Can we just have this badge back, please? So that's my plea to him.
Hopefully it comes to fruition, mate. Dean, can you please promote the TikTok channel before you leave us, mate?
Oh, yeah.
Your great stuff that you do. I love it. I love it when you're doing the trucking, mate. I absolutely love it.
You're a road trucker.
Oh, yeah. I'm a trucker in this room, in my little room, yeah. It's Dino, the old brick gamer, on TikTok, Dino OBG. I'm always on there. I'm going to be on there in about 20 minutes, actually. So it's on there on TikTok. So everybody can find me, have a laugh with me, and stuff like that. So, yeah. Thanks for this. Round of applause as well to you for 100 episodes. Round of applause to you.
Thank you very much.
Dean Mitchell, Sheffield Wednesday fan, TikTok creator, of course. Go and check him out because I love his channel. And Dean, again, we'll have you back on. I just hope we can have a bit more positivity surrounding Wednesday next time you're on, mate. Because it's horrific for any club going through this, but you are. It's horrific, but pastures new and all that, hopefully.
Yeah, we will, mate. Cheers. Thanks a lot. Congratulations as well.
Take care, mate. Thank you
and
very
you
much.
take care of yourselves.
All the best, mate.
Bye-bye.
And that's just how bad it can get, Chris, because you know what we were going through with the financials. And,
yeah, we were
and then you hear that.
Yeah.
And it really puts it into context, doesn't it?
Yeah, and you could have think, that could have been us. And it's must be soul destroying being a supporter of a football club that's been absolutely ripped apart by ridiculous owners. And you got to think with all these points deductions, who are they actually punishing here? Because it seems to me when you're taking points off a football club for mess that the owners have made, why are we taking out on the supporters and taking points off a football club that these people are going paid week in, week out to go and see, but it's the fans that get punished.
100%. We have got another guest waiting in the wings. He's been on this show more times than we can count, of course, and it is Mr. Brady Barlow, back on for the 100th episode of the show. Braids, how are you, mate?
Not bad, boys. How are you two?
All good.
Not kicking the bucket, at least.
Chris, you came up with a topic, didn't you, for Brady, to take him away from Villa, because it's always centred around Villa when you come on. And you were saying, weren't you, about Pro Evo?
Yeah, I was just thinking, back in the day, when we were younger, and there was 4 of us. Where Paul, Paul will probably watch this in the next 10 years when he gets around to it. What he's like. But I always want to talk about the games you remember and games that when we used to play against each other, not just me and you, it could have been Stuart, it could have been Paul, it could have been everybody else that used to turn up at my house when my parents used to go away. Is there anything that, that which certain Pez you liked? Just throw out there what you preferred and what you liked and who you liked playing against. If you can remember.
One person I never liked playing against was Ben. I hated playing against, because if you managed to beat him, he would not let you live it down. He wouldn't shut up about it. Honestly, the amount of arguments you and him used to have about that game, I think that's why I turned more to FIFA than I did PES.
I remember.
But I think the earlier PES games probably spring to mind. Some of the games we used to have on there was just ridiculous, to the point where I think we've broken controllers, we've had arguments with each other. I think we've ended up having, right, we'll do a few games on PES and then we'll do a few games on FIFA because you never seem to be able to beat me on FIFA.
No, I don't know. You always seem to always run off that game that happened at Goodison Park all those years ago when Ashley Young scored the last minute goal, and I feel like that came into FIFA as some sort of punishment for me. And you would always score like 40 goals that just seemed to trickle in every time, and I would have all possession and all the chances, but no, you'd get 2 or 3 goals, and I'd be like, "What the fuck is going on here?" But they were fun, and you know what? That's why I brought it up, because they were sort of games that I love playing, and I remember obviously there used to be a good bunch of us, and we used to, when this stays on, Stuart has a good story for his when this stays on.
Nobody could beat me for hours. For hours, you were in the back drinking. You hadn't been in that front room for hours. It was hours as well. Nobody could get me off it. I was on it. He came in, and it was a 1-0, wasn't it? It was either a 1-0 or a 2-1 win.
No, it was a 1-0.
Oh, I was fuming. when I lost it. But nobody could get me off it the whole night. I mean, for Tony was on it, but everybody beat for Tony.
I think I beat him with Egypt back in the day when they had such a good team.
He'd still come back around. He'd be back on it. You know what I mean? Yeah. He was never disheartened, bless him.
Never let you down for Tony. Never let you down.
It got better at it towards the end of the cycle when we sort of moved on from it. When PES sort of lost its way a bit, didn't it? When FIFA sort of upped its game, when PES sort of lost their way, he got better at it then. I still beat him, but those are the games that we lived our lives on. That was like everyday occurrence. You finish school and you lot would come round and we'd play Pro Evo or FIFA. That's just what it was, wasn't it?
And then I introduced NFL, Madden, and Chris absolutely hated that game.
I did. I'm better at it now, much better at it now. I never understood. I get rugby and I get the rules of rugby, but I've not ever played Madden, and I'm not really.
Chris, why are you playing with Miami Dolphins? It's all Ace Ventura, right? Yes. Doesn't mean it's a good team.
No, Dan Marino was a legend, have you know.
Dan Marino was never on the games.
Yeah, but I had to pretend.
Brady, what was your earliest football game that you had as a kid? What was your first one on a console? I'll ask you that,
First one on a console? Which one was it? It was on the Super Nintendo, I think it was. Was it either the first Nintendo or Super Nintendo?
Super Soccer came out because Chris had that, or was it Sensible Soccer or one of them?
I think it might have been Super Soccer,
Yeah.
Yes.
What a game.
And then you had FIFA come out, and then you had PES come out. And I just loved some of the names of the teams on PES. I just thought it was brilliant. And the names of some of the players. Ryan Grigg.
Yeah,
it's just gigs. Why are you Grigg? Who's Grigg?
Hey, maybe they stopped. They could have gone with the Greggs. They would have been quite in there, the name by then.
But when they didn't have the licenses, you could send your memory card off. People had done it. They'd done the editor for the whole game.
Yeah.
And we didn't do it, did we? Sorry, Braid.
No.
There was no point, though, if you think about it, because we knew the players and the stats weren't wrong, were they? The stats of the player and the level they were at the time. It's just obviously the Merseyside blue, Merseyside red. but they all had the same stats, and we didn't care. We just loved playing it, didn't we? And you know,
Well, I mean, when they started bringing in like the training mode on it, and
oh yeah,
we would come up with like stupid things like, right, let's see who can do the Roberto Carlos free kick, and we'd sit there for hours, just all of us just trying to do it, and then Ben would walk in, grab the remote, and he'd be like, "What am I doing, Roberto Carlos? All right, then, smash first go. What are you? Get out, get out."
because he lived for that. He lived for Pez. The amount of times
I hated going round to his house to see if
Yeah.
he was coming out because he go, "Oh, just have a quick game on PES. Ben, we're supposed to be going at the Astro for 40. Yeah, we'll be there. We'll go in a minute. We're going 3 hours later. Ben, we've missed 40. All right, one more game then.
You know, you got a pounding from him every time as well.
I think that's the reason why I went more to FIFA as well. He just killed PES for me.
John Scott, Roberto Larcos. I remember it well. I remember it well. I tell you what, though, prime Adriano on PES.
Oh,
what a player! What a player he was. He had the pace to burn and the finishing. If you could get through with him, you could bag a few, couldn't you?
I just remember all the sort of things you can do then. You know, obviously it was a bit more arcadey, but the free kicks, I loved the free kicks on there. And the chips, you always used to know if you got it just a bit round the corner by the post, be able to always chip the keeper. But yeah, me and Stuart, I remember the Champions League when we did a 2-player co-op with Everton in the Champions League, didn't we, on PES? And there's things that I love about that because like it was just much better in that day and age before FIFA sort of upped their game, and obviously Konami sort of didn't really take on the next level, I guess. But the memories I have of that game, and I've got it on the computer somewhere actually, and it blows your mind every time you play it. Okay, graphic wise, it's awful, but gameplay's still insane. Like,
one question for you, Chris, and I want an honest answer. I'm going to give you 3 football games, and you pick one.
Okay.
PES, FIFA, Footy Manager.
Oh, you know where I'm going, don't you? What game have I spent most of my life on? That's the question. What game have I spent most of my life on?
Well, we all know it's Footy Manager.
Yeah. Do you know the first time I ever played Football Manager?
Go on.
It was 94, 95. And I've never got off it, and we're in 2026.
I just used to love some of the next top talents that we used to see online, and that we go and sign. We're like, what? These are rubbish.
Chuno Samba.
Freddie Adu, mate. Yeah. Freddie Adu.
Yeah, absolutely. Went to Benfica and shut the bed.
Bakir Kioglu from Hammarby.
Yes.
We could go on all night with this.
Julius Nagahauer.
There was some right gems in there for cheap, man, over the years when I used to play it. But you stayed true, Chris. You've been right the way through.
I forever will. It's caused more arguments than I think you see in Hell's Kitchen, me playing Football Manager. I'm telling you that now.
Brady, one player in a game, Villa player, to win you the match, playing any football game. The one played one. I think I know where this is going. Actually,
the one player. What, that I can have a Villa now?
Lift over the course of you following Villa, if you want, we can open it up a bit, which will widen it for you, which might make it a bit trickier.
One player I would love to be back, and he still goes to watch Villa when he can. Big John Carew. Absolutely. I loved Big John Carew. I mean, I still remember he'd gone back to defend for a corner. We'd managed to clear it to the edge of the box, and he just shoulders it. Just shoulders it out, calm as anything. But he would just pop up with a goal when you needed it. And we swapped him for Milan Barros. The day we got Milan Barros out that door, Chris knows what I was like, and John Carew coming in, I just thought, thank God for that. What a pile of crap he was.
And that
All
handball
because he
yeah,
had
against
one
us.
good Euro tournament. That brilliant goal against you lot.
Over Coldrup, you ruined Coldrup's career at Everton. He had that one full game, like one game he started, and he fucking handballed it over him, and then he never played again.
He didn't handball it, he headed it. You saw it. We clearly saw it.
Oh,
Who
yeah.
scouted Per Croldrup? Because he was 6'5", wasn't he? And he couldn't head a ball. He couldn't head a ball. It was just like
Couldn't defend, Stuart.
I know. Well, yeah, there's that. But again, for his height, you're like win an aerial battle, man. But yeah, John Carew. I just think of Valencia as well. You know, the years there, and then you got him. You know, more latterly. But yeah, he was impactful. He really was.
Yeah, he came from Lyon to us, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Because Houllier was I'm sure it was Houllier at Lyon, and then Houllier came to us, and John Carew sort of left because they weren't exactly best pals, were they? And I was absolutely gutted the day that John Carew left.
Brady, thank you so much as always. We will be
No
seeing
worries,
you.
boys. You know how much I love coming on here.
I know,
And
yeah.
I'm so happy you've made it to 100. Let's go 100 more.
Thank you
We
so
will,
much, mate. Absolutely. As we always say, all the best to the Villa. They're doing fantastic. They're gonna be in the Champions League next season.
Here's hoping we're 5 points ahead of United at the moment, so
Sorry, Big
we've still
Tammy's
got
here
them
now,
to play.
mate. Big Tammy's back. He'll score some goals.
Oh yeah. And
Cheers,
Dougie. Stewie knows how much I love Dougie being back.
Dougie's back now. Dice was going to ruin him. So there you go. He's back where he belongs. He's come back. He's had a little break. He's back. I knew you'd be happy. I knew you'd be elated. That one. Braids, thank you so much, mate.
Cheers, boys.
Yeah, mate. All the best.
Take care.
See ya.
And that was good, mate. As you said, a bit of nostalgia because we have Brady on so frequently. We cover Villa a lot with him. So that was brilliant, Chris, changing topics with him, going to the footy games. And just us as kids, man, playing what we did. Good nostalgia there.
That's what we did. We went and played football, and we played football games. That is pretty much what we did, wasn't it? So I just thought it'd be good because that's what us three did with Paul. So I thought it was a good conversation to have. Breaks it up a bit.
Absolutely. We have got an Evertonian waiting. It's a first-time guest, though, and he's been waiting patiently. We've slightly overrun. It was always going to happen, but he is waiting to come on. It's his first appearance on the show. It is none other than Sam Donegan, Evertonian there. He's got the shirt on. We're together now.
Got the shirt on.
So, yeah, Sam, you've got quite a lot to cover that you wanted to speak about, going on with Everton. A lot with transfers and just how it's been going under Moyes.
Yeah, we know what Moyes did in his first time at Everton. That was an incredible time for all of us, and we moved on from that, and now he's back. I do think the transfers have been, obviously this window wasn't the best, was it? And looking at what could happen over the next sort of 5 months, it's inevitable now that West Ham are going to go down. And I said to Stu before, if West Ham go down, if we can get Jarrod Bowen in, he's worked with Moyes in the past, hasn't he? Successful with Moyes at West Ham. If we can have Jarrod Bowen one side, if Grealish comes back from this foot injury and he's all fine, and we can have Jack Grealish on the other wing, those two feeding into sort of Njai, and maybe look at another striker. I think that the wings and the strikers we find are central. The midfielders and all that are fine. And then it's just sorting out the defence. What do you do with that? I don't know what you boys think, but I don't know whether Michael Keane's his time could be coming to an end. To be honest, the guy scored more goals than he's defended goals, so stick him up front, and we've saved our money on a striker there. But I think obviously it's an improvement in where we've been. You boys know it. The last few seasons were horrendous, but it's still inconsistent, isn't it? How do you go away to Villa, who haven't lost 11 games at home, beat them, and then draw with Leeds at our place? It just doesn't. It doesn't make sense. There's a lot of inconsistencies in there, isn't there? So I think Moyes is the man, but I think he's got to be careful because our owners are not. They're ruthless, aren't they? They know what they're doing to run a football club in. They've done it in Roma so well. It's just he's got to be careful. But we've had good times under Moyes. I'm sure we've got more good times to come. I think we just need strength and depth, especially on the bench, because if you look at us now with all the injuries we've got, we're not coping. The cup showed it. We're out of both the cups already. We could have had decent cup runs this season. We had it set up for us, and it's just not there. We just got to try and improve that squad. I mean, you've got like the likes of Man City, who've got 2 full squads, no problem. But we haven't got that sort of money. But the rumours are we've got 240 million to spend. So if that's the case, then let's see what we can do, because we've got into this amazing new stadium. And yes, our league position's changed. It's improving, but the inconsistencies are still there for the team. And I think we've got to be careful, because there's a few of them that'll go, I don't want this anymore. I want to go back to Champions League football or whatever it might be. And if we lose a lot of them, we'd be stupid not to sign Grealish. If Grealish comes back from this foot injury, it's a £50 million buyout. We'd be stupid not to sign him, because he's been incredible for us so far this season. And I think we need that experience in the squad, don't we?
Chris?
Going forward, yeah, absolutely. I mean, sure, we spoke about Grealish last week, didn't we? About his injury, and obviously we did this before Tariq George come in, which I amend the negotiations with Chelsea. I'd still like to know how much the actual the price will be at the end of the season for him. I'm told 35 million, which I'm a bit. We'll see obviously how he gets on, but with Grealish, I think 50 million. I think we can get that further down. I don't think we'll pay 50 million for him, especially being his 30s. And as Stuart says, we paid a chunk of it through the loan fee as well. So yeah. I think, if I was a betting man, I think we'd probably go in there with 25 for starters for him, because I think his age as well, and being the last year of his contract, and I do think City will want to use him next season. I do think they'd want him out, and I think obviously, as long as Villa don't get any money and they come calling, because it could, change the fact there. He might want to go back there for his lot of years. I like Grealish. I feel sorry for him being next to Mikalenko, and I've said this to Stuart again on previous shows, because I can't stand Mikalenko. He does me head in. But you can see the despair in sometimes where Grealish has made a good run and Mikalenko can't, give the ball to him, or he runs in the way of him. So I think if you're going to get Grealish in, we got to get a good left back to play with him, and vice versa, right back as well. I'd like to see we get more attacking-minded wing backs, because I think that's what we're missing a lot. A lot of our wingers are having to come in more. Jacob Bryan's not a right back; he's a centre defender, and we've seen that when he's played centre with Tarkowski, it's been brilliant.
Yeah,
he's more subdued at right back. He does get forward every now and again, but he's not a right back. And I'm not going to go into Mikalenko, because I've gone into about him so many times. Play Anzu if I'm honest. Let him have a go. But I do agree. I like Jared Bowen would be a very good buy, but I don't think we'd be the only ones after Jared Bowen. That's the only thing.
Absolutely not. He's won European trophy last few seasons back. He's constantly sort of putting the performances in, using the fitness he's got. He's a good player, and I think there'll be a lot of teams, not just Prem teams. I think there'll be a few European teams after him as well, to be honest. But if they go down, he won't stay. He will not stay at West Ham. He's too much of a good player to stay at West Ham. But you've got to feel for Grealish as well, haven't you? Last season before, he was sort of feeding it into the likes of Haaland and stuff, and now he's feeding it into better Barry.
Barry's getting better now, though, Sam. Barry's
he is. He has had, he's had the couple of. He's finding his feet, isn't he? But I thought we were going to get a lot more out of Beto than we have. But again, it's coming into the league, isn't it? It's hard to come into that league. But I think managerial-wise, I think Moyes, you've got to give him his time, haven't you? He's come in, the club's been in a mess. How many managers have we gone through? Some were right decisions, some were the wrong decisions. And I think he's just trying to stable the club a little bit more now, isn't he? And he's got people behind him and stuff like that. I mean, I'd love to see him bring Duncan Ferguson back into the coaching team. I think,
don't think Dunk would do it now. That guy, you know, I mean, I'm gutted he's not found another job since Inverness, really.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Stuart, I'm sure you've read his book as well, Sam.
I actually haven't yet. It is one I want to read, but you know, it's. I am surprised, but he went. Was it Forest Green Rovers? He went.
Yes.
That went Inverness Cali as well.
Yeah, Inverness went wrong because of the money, didn't it? But
yeah,
you know, the guy's worked with some great people, hasn't he? And he's got so much love and knowledge of the club that I think it's a shame he's not there. But I think, you know, things are looking up, you know, but I think there's still a long way to go in what we need to do. Especially, you know, we've got one of the best stadiums in the Prem.
Just can't win there.
We just can't win there, yeah. I don't know what it is. I'd prefer to play the whole league away from home because we might get a few more points on the board there then.
I'm with you.
But, you know, I was thinking to myself, like, before, like, managerial side of it, one of my favourite eras was the Martinez era because those first couple, you know, those seasons under Martinez, we had a lot of good results. A great team. You look back at some of that and you think, how did we ever keep those players for as long as we did? But yeah, I think we've got to do something in the summer because I don't think we did enough business in this window to sort of where those injuries are and where those injuries are going to be for a while. We haven't got that, you know, that people haven't got game time and stuff. I mean, you know, like Stu was saying the other day, Chris, you know, a lot of them are, for example, Dwight McNeil, he hasn't had the time. He's had the injury. He hasn't had the game time. But we need to keep that fitness up, whether it's playing for the under-21s or whatever it might be. But I definitely don't think he should have gone out the door, and I'm glad he didn't because I don't think it was a player we should have lost.
I've just got a score update. I just want to take it away for 1 second.
Yeah,
I've just seen it myself too.
Half time, right? City 3, Newcastle 0. It's now 5-0 on aggregate. Omar Mamouche with 2. Tiani Reinders with the 3rd as well. So yeah, they get absolutely slaughtered. They're making up for the weekend.
That's a Man City Arsenal final.
Yeah.
Pep v Arteta.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, mate. It'd be interesting. Yeah. The master against the pupil.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
Sam, again, what about we've got Fulham on the weekend, haven't we?
Yeah.
Obviously, Marco Silva. Again, you know, we're saying about managers that weren't given time and just the way the club was and stuff. You know, he was never given the right amount of time. But with Fulham, like, he had nothing to spend in the summer. And look where they are at the moment.
Exactly.
I know the league's the way it is. Somebody could be up there the next couple of games. But at the moment, Fulham, Marco Silva's done it with no money. They didn't reinvest.
Well, yeah. Again, he was a manager that I think could have done a lot more for us if he'd given the time. But we were going through that phase, weren't we, where we were just ruthless with managers and it just wasn't working. But I think going to Fulham's not going to be easy. It's not been easy for anyone this season at all. You know, it's a tough place to go every season. But with our away record, I don't see why we can't get something. Whether we get a late goal again, like we have done the last couple of games or not, but they will be on it as well because, you know, it's a home game for them. Marco Silva's obviously going to want to beat one of his old clubs, isn't he? He's not going to back down on that. But yeah, I think it'll be a tough place to go. But he's done brilliant with no money. You know, he keeps the players there, doesn't he? And he kind of keeps them well. It's a well-oiled machine at Fulham, to be fair to the team. And you know, they should get more money really because they would be pushing up there with the money, wouldn't they? Really.
Chris, what do you think with that game, mate? So obviously we're away again, aren't we? It could be better for us. But
the thing, yeah, but you see, we did one over Fulham last year, didn't we? If you think rightly, and they were battering us, and then Mikalenko got that deflected shot in, and then you know Beto scored. Well, I'll say his third one's a bit of a mistake by the keeper, but these are things that happen, and as we've both of us have said, you know, the away form's been amazing, and we just seem to play. Obviously, we're a bit more defensive, aren't we? And we go for the counter-attacking sort of style against the teams when we play away. it might be different. London's never been a great place for us, has it, to go as a club over the years? I know we've done better the last couple, especially this season in London, but I don't know. It's a difficult one, isn't it? I think you got to look at who he's playing. Is he going to go for Patterson at right back? I think the difference is when you look at the Leeds game, as soon as Patterson come on, it changed so much on that right hand side, and that's how we got a goal. We're playing a natural right back at a right back, which, God forbid you play players in the right position that we're meant to play there.
That would be obvious.
Yeah.
I honestly thought Calvert-Lewin had scored in that goal as well. I thought he put it in.
Oh,
he snapped it as hard as he bloody well could, didn't he?
Yeah, he did try. He did try.
After the struggles he's had with the injuries and stuff, I'm glad to see that he's gone somewhere and he's playing well and he's getting the football, because he is a good player. But I wouldn't have been happy if he scored against us. Not a chance. No way.
No, I because he left for us for a Champions League team, didn't he? Good Champions League team he went to.
Well, yeah, he wanted a London club, didn't he? But he was never going to. I mean, he could have gone to Chelsea and got a 10-year deal or something, couldn't he?
He could have, yeah. 200 grand.
They like to throw out deals left, right, and centre, like they're not going to ever disappear. But yeah, he left. He had to leave, didn't he? There was no place for him at Everton anymore, really. I think he'd had too many struggles and there was a lot going on, I think, behind the scenes.
Choice, though, Sam. He wanted the ridiculous amount of money, and we were willing to play it.
If he'd have carried on playing the way he was playing, sort of the Carlo Ancelotti era, that season, he was banging them in for fun. Mm-hmm. Now, if he'd carried on playing like that and he wanted that money, you'd think, well, yeah, we're stupid not to give it to him because we've got to keep playing like that. But for someone that's played, a handful of games in a season and scored a couple of goals, you can't be demanding money like that. And I think that's another problem. I think that's a problem with the league. I think there's so many clubs that are now openly saying, well, we're giving our player 200,000 a week, 300,000 a week, or whatever. And all the players going, well, we want that. Well, there's only a handful of clubs within that league that can do it. Your Man City, somehow your Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, and possibly United. But you're looking at other clubs and thinking the players they've got are going to go to big teams, even if they went to Madrid or Barca or somewhere like that. We're not in that bracket, and that's our problem. That's one of our issues, I think, is we can attract the players because of what we've got. As in, we've got the new stadium, we're building a team, we're doing all that, but we can't attract the money side of it, if that makes sense. We're not in a position to be able to pay in hundreds of thousands per week.
Look at our net spend off the last 5 years, of course.
14 million, wasn't it?
It was. We were down. I think we were placed 19th.
Yeah, we were second from bottom.
Yeah, it was like, and obviously that was going to be the case with everything that's gone on. But it was like, and you look at United and Arsenal and Liverpool, what they've spent, and it's like crazy. Like, United 670 million, I think it was. It's crazy.
That's. I mean, I know we're talking Everton now, but that's a club I can't get my head around. I can't understand what they're trying to do there. It's just mad. They're going through managers worse than us, and we went through a period. Once Moyes left, that was it. We were going through managers for fun, weren't we? But I just don't get what they're doing as a club. You look at Arsenal. How long's Arteta been there? And he's won a couple of FA Cups and a Charity Shield, has he? Which he classes as a trophy. It's crazy how different things are, isn't it? And I think our owners will be sensible because of what's happened in the past. They're having to fix that, aren't they? That mess that we got into with how much money we were spending, all the points deduction and all that. They obviously are being careful, but there is money there. And I think they will back Moyes when he's needed. And I think big conversations probably happen in the summer, I hope.
Fingers crossed. Will do. Sorry, Chris, go on.
No, I said it will do. The thing I'll say, Sam, is January it's a ridiculous window. I'll say to you now as a question, and this is obviously ridiculous. Strand Larsen, 48 million. This is what I mean by ridiculous. And I know they knocked back, was it like almost 50, 60 million from Newcastle in the summer? But I know he's prolific. He scored 14 goals last season. But the guy scored 1 goal this season in the Premier League now. And Palace, I suppose, panicked and spent big on him. I just feel like if that's the way January goes, I'd rather back away from it.
Yeah.
You know, unless you can find something like we did. You know what I mean? Tariq George is a good loan deal, and we've got 14 plus games now to see what you can do, and then we can make our minds up in the summer. Those kind of deals I can get behind. You know what I mean? I'm a bit frustrated we didn't get a right back to cover because we do need one. But from what I've read, that Moyes wasn't really interested in Cuffy from January. Or was it Bologna? One of them two. So I think if deals are going to be that stupid, then there's no point wasting your money now when you can hold out to the summer.
He said he wasn't going to do anything willy-nilly as well. He came out and said that. But we know, like you say, we know how it's crackers. And still there was like nearly 400 million spent in the Premier League. And then they put up the 5 leagues around Europe. And I think Ligue 1, there was like 80 odd million spent. And the Championship was in the top 6.
Well,
I think they've done like 50 odd million, if memory serves, in the Championship. It was in the top 6.
Was off that Birmingham.
And then I think closely followed by, I think it may be in Italy in second, maybe. I think it was in that order. But it's just, and most of that was City.
Well, yeah. I mean, you mentioned the Championship. I follow the Championship. I love the Championship as a league. I think it's so tight, and it's if you go to that league, it's hard to get out of. But yeah, they, I mean, most of that is probably, as you say, Chris, it's either Birmingham or Wrexham, because they seem to fly through money like no one's business, don't they? It's just mad how much they can spend. But I think let's see where we are in 14 games time. Let's hope we're still in the top half, and then let's see what the owners want to do in the summer. But I think he's got to be backed, because I think if he's not backed with what he wants to do, he won't stay. With what he's done at West Ham and how he was treated at West Ham and what he's done when he's come back to us, and the jobs he's had in the past, Moyes will be, someone would go for him. If he wasn't happy and they could see he wasn't happy, people would put bids in for him because they want him to come as a manager.
I generally think that David Moyes will be his last club, if I'm honest, Sam. I do think he's going to go. I think he'll go upstairs after us, if I'm honest.
I would love to see him stay until the end of his career, Chris. And, look what he did for us last time he was there. We had some unbelievable
we did.
memories from that. And we've got unbelievable memories now. And I think the way he's been lately with the hair pulling incident, and then he got booked at the weekend for celebrating, and he was kicking off about that and stuff. He's just
swearing in it. Yeah,
good
in the press
conference. Good for him, I say. It was a nonsense, man. It was the last minute. Don't book him. He's passionate. Like, he didn't do the knee slide though, did he? His age and all that. He was on the verge of it. And then Grealish commenting, just saying he's a legend afterwards. That was brilliant. It was just brilliant.
Why aren't we allowed to see that? You know what I mean? You see so many people complain about it, don't you? Managers are emotionless, but when they do show emotion, they're getting bollocks for it.
He was galloping along like a man of his age, and there's nothing.
He was, yeah.
There's nothing wrong. That'd be my dad. That.
I can imagine that as well, yeah.
Down the old touchline, but yeah, Sam. Before you go, obviously you live down in Cardiff. You've lived down there for a number of years now, and you get to Cardiff City games as well, don't you?
Yeah,
so before you go, just doing the Cardiff City games.
Sorry,
doing the Cardiff City games.
Yeah, it's good down there. To be fair, I mean, I was down there for the Chelsea game before Christmas, and I haven't been down for for a while before that. But at one point I had a ticket where it was like 5 games for 90 quid or something, and we did the Swansea game and all that. And they're in League One now. The atmosphere, you get in sort of maybe 16,000 sort of a game really. But I went down there for the Everton game one year, but I had to sit in the home stand because I couldn't get an away ticket, and that was a disaster. We absolutely battered them. And then, all the Cardiff fans are giving it, big and all that. And then Gylfi Sigurdsson scored. And I thought, oh, God, next Swansea player scoring here, we're going to be in serious trouble. And they were all going mental. But I could see down on the Everton fans, they were, because they're tucked away in the corner. But tell you what, though, you go down there, and if you go down for the derby, the fans are still bussed in. So the away fans will still be bussed from Swansea into the game an hour early, and then they'll be kept behind after. So there's still that, there's rivalries quite mad there. But it's a nice stadium. It's obviously very different, isn't it? But that Chelsea game, they give Chelsea a good run for their money. They had to bring on the big boys to try and win it, and which they did, obviously. But the Championship was obviously a lot better than League One. But it looks like they'll come back to the Championship now next season.
There's a lot of young Welsh talent coming through now. I think off the basis of them going to League One, I've heard like a lot that it's the younger Welsh lads are coming through, aren't they? Which is good, for the national team potentially going forward if they can cultivate them and get them to the level they need to get them to for the national team.
Yeah, it is. I think the manager's very keen on that. He's done a great job, to be fair, and he's where he needs to be. And top of the league, they've got to stay top of the league now and come back up to the Championship. But I think, so having a conversation with one of my mates who I went down to the Chelsea game with, they've got to be careful because they're on such a good run now. They've got to keep that confidence up because the Championship is so hard. It's such a hard league. I think at like one point, maybe last season, Cardiff were literally down the bottom of the league, but they were only 6 points off the playoff. So it was like 2 wins and they're in the playoff, or stay as they are when they're going down, So it's it's good down there. It is, you get some big crowds. I've been down there and it's been sold out for like the Swansea game or the Bristol game where the derbies are. But then you might get. I went to Norwich once on a Saturday in February and it was absolutely freezing. And it was 0-0. The most exciting thing was, I think Cardiff hit the bar. That was it. And you just, when you're there, then you're thinking, why am I bothering?
Yeah. But you did like we all do, like we all have done for years, gone to the winter games, even though you have August, September, October.
We never seem to go to the summer games though.
And then we leave it till maybe April, but you're getting to the back end then, April, May, aren't you? Sometimes the games aren't as good depending on what's going on. But we go at the wrong times, lads.
We do.
We really do.
And we do.
The other thing about Cardiff City, which I like, is like the other day they were playing at home Tuesday night last week, I think. And to get the crowds in, they do 50% off the tickets. So the tickets go down to like 12 quid for an adult. And you think that then that's affordable then, isn't it? When you're looking at like some Premier League games at 100 quid a ticket or whatever, and you just think, well, families can't do that. The kids going to want to go and then they want to buy the shirts and all that. And you're just thinking, no, it's...
When Tottenham were at Frankfurt the other week, and it was 15 quid or 15 euros. And that was for away tickets as well. We've said about German football for ages on this show, me and Chris. I read Henry Winter in 442 years and years ago saying about the pricing. They'd never con the fans and stuff. And they've kept to their word. The pricing's so much better there.
Years ago, there was on Chelsea were playing Munich in the Champions League final? And it was at Munich. And there was lads being interviewed, a dad and his son being interviewed in London, and they were season ticket holders at Munich, and it was cheaper to have a season ticket and fly over than it was to have a season ticket at Chelsea. You just think it's just mental, isn't it?
Sam, we've got our last guest waiting in the wings, mate. So we will have you
very
back
much.
on. Thanks for coming on, mate. I know it's been brief, but me and Chris as well. We'll have you on for a longer episode on your own, of course. Thanks, mate. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on, and good luck for the rest of it. I'll speak to you soon.
Take it easy, Sam.
Take care.
Bye. Bye.
And our final guest, he's here. He's here. He's back on. He's been on the show many times. It's Aston Villa fan Ant Williams back on the show. How are we?
Fine, thanks, mate. How about you guys? You okay?
All good, mate. All good. And you've been obviously against RB Salzburg recently. What a match! What a game it was.
Sounds like Chris Kamara's on.
Is it coming through, Ant? Just while Ant's getting sorted, I'll just say that Salzburg game was brilliant last week. It was topsy-turvy. And they got
it's a bit laggy. It's a little bit laggy on catch.
Yeah. Salzburg, because obviously you were there.
You might need to come in and come back out again, you know, man.
Yeah, drop, maybe.
Right, no, actually, no, you were okay then.
Fine, yeah, we can go back. We can come back to it in a minute, mate. It's absolutely fine, honestly. Yeah, just Villa.
I can hear you now.
Oh, there you are.
I can hear you.
We're sound. Yeah, so you're on the 4-game ticket for the Europa League, weren't you? You've said about this and the game.
Yes.
What a game!
I know. I had a joke with Marie when we were 2-0 down. I said we just need to do what we did against PSG and come and win 3-2. I was joking, like I didn't actually think we were going to do that, but oh my god, what a game! But unfortunately, there was some downside to that. We lost Ollie Watkins.
You've got Big Tammy now, mate. You'll be all right.
You know, I've only started watching the Villa since he'd just gone.
Oh,
Playing for Villa, Marie, obviously, and she loves him, and I enjoyed what I saw from him when I watched the Brentford game the weekend. But I'm still not convinced that it's going to take a bit of time for me to get used to that because Marie knows him. I don't. I like my Ollie Watkins. I just hope Watkins isn't out for too long because it's going to affect us in all the competitions we're in.
It's a big loss. It truly is, mate. But again, I think the other lads have been playing well. You know,
Are you boys
he hasn't been as prolific as he. Hello.
I think I need to leave and come back in.
Pop back in. It's all right. Me and Chris will run it back. Obviously, we'll keep it on topic with Ollie Watkins.
Yeah.
And now you seem to be all right again.
That's what happened last time when I said to him.
the last guest, and we're having tech issues. Oh no!
Always the case. It's always the case.
It's all right. I think it's working again now.
Yeah, it's working again now. It's working again. Sorry about that, guys.
Right, you go.
Are you on McDonald's Wi-Fi there, Ant?
I'm at home. I don't know. Maybe Marie didn't pay the bill. I don't know.
You're always all right when you come on. There's never any issues, mate. And we're on the 100th episode. It's a celebration. It's a celebration about Villa, and
that's what I'm on. And I don't think I've actually been on with the two of you together. I've been on with Chris. I've been on with you, Stu. I don't think I've been on with you guys together. This might be the first time.
But going back to Ollie Watkins, just to get us back on track, of course, just the loss of him. Chris says about Tammy Abraham coming in, but yeah, how big is it for you, him not being available?
Well, I mean, it was one thing losing like Kamara, then McGinn, Tillemans. That's the three in the midfield. Watkins, I think it's supposed to be too long, but the sooner the better because now we're affecting I know like Brady might not be in the title hunt. I might be in the title hunt. I'm still not going to rule it out. But we need these guys back. There is no title hunt. Champions League still on the cards. But if we want to win Europa, we're still in the FA Cup, which I'm going to next week as well. The fourth round against Newcastle. There's a lot of plates still spinning at the moment, so we need our players back, and a few of them are out for a little while. Did you just hear Marie pop the door open them and set up the Villa?
No, she was going to tell us about Tammy Abraham.
Yeah,
she was going to. Marie can come on at any time to talk the Villa. Definitely. But yeah, just
we'll have to get her on, mate. We'll have to.
Yeah, we'll get Marie on. Absolutely. Going to the last weekend, of course, them going down to 10 men. It seemed to me like you'd end up winning that game. I know you were behind, and it just didn't happen. What went wrong? What were the issues for you? With Villa?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, before half time as well, it's like, well, we've got to be beating these guys. It's a good side. But it is hard to play against 10 men sometimes. I mean, you guys have seen certain games where you've gone down 10. It's a cookie to crack. And
Beat United at Old Trafford.
They just put everyone was just sitting in the box, weren't they, all game?
So we played Brentford, a few weeks ago ourselves at the Hill Dickey, and we got absolutely smashed by them. But Stuart and Gary there, I was meant to be with them, obviously, but I wasn't well on the day. Brentford are just one of those teams this season that everyone thought they were going to go down. I mean, Stuart, to be fair, we both said the same. And to be fair, I think they've been one of the surprising teams of the season, considering of who they lost, a manager as well as the best players. I think props to Keith Andrews for doing such a fucking good job for Brentford.
Because we wrote him off. It was like they lost so many players, and then Igor Thiago, he's banned the goals and he's on 16. Although I think he's had 3 2-point games on fantasy now, he might be going, mate. And if Calvert-Lewin has another 2-point game, he's going as well. Because it's getting to the business end now. It's like you've got to start making changes if you're going to win some conquer on the fantasy. But yeah, Thiago, what just to come in and do what he's done off the back of the players that have gone. But yeah, they really have been the surprise package, as Chris said. Hans?
Yeah, on Thiago's note, he was sacked last week, mate, but
coming through.
I don't know.
Guys. Keith Andrews, Chris, you were saying about the job is done. I did not know.
Yeah.
Until the last game that Keith Andrews was only the set piece coach this season. I didn't even know who he was, if being honest, until he became the.
I remember him at Blackburn. I remember him at Blackburn years ago, and he played for other clubs off the back of that as well. But he played for Blackburn, and he was decent for Blackburn as well. He was good player in the middle.
No nonsense. He was no nonsense player, wasn't he? Keith Andrews?
Yeah. Set piece coach, and then he's been around, Thomas Frank in that, and he's took it on. He's took the big job on, and yeah, you can't knock them. You can't knock them, can you, Chris?
I think, like you mentioned. Sorry, I'm sitting on my bed and getting uncomfortable now. You mentioned Igor Jesus before. I think another person from Brentford that's really sort of woken me up to them is Kevin Schade. I think he's been absolutely fantastic this season for him, and I think him and Igor together have been, it's like having Whistle and Boomer again together, isn't it? But just two different players, but they connect as well. As them two did when they were at Brentford. Jordan Henderson, as much as he's a cop-ite, another good signing for them. That's old school, knows the Premier League. He's been around a bit, hasn't he? And he's come back again. He's got that experience in the middle. I just think, they've been really good. Like I say, they give us a spanking at Hill Dickey, so they're going to be a one to challenge for the Europa League spots and stuff this season, I think, as well.
They're in that cluster with Fulham as well. We're all in amongst it down in that part of the table, so it will be interesting. And when are you next going to the Villa?
Got Brighton mid-game next week, the Wednesday night, and we're there for the FA Cup on the Saturday, Valentine's Day, for the 4th round against Newcastle. So two games next week, bit of a slogfest, but it's
a lovely romantic day for you.
Two games so close together.
Hopefully the horse punch won't knock you out.
You're in the perfect place, you two, going to the Villa for Valentine's Day, eh? Not many relationships.
It's a
That's a perfect Valentine's Day. That is. I'll get Karis to come to Will Dickinson.
Oh yeah, because I'll
I'm sure that'll work.
Although she has been to Goodison, to be fair to her. But yeah, if I said that now, it'd be like, no, you're all right. Maybe when the boys are a bit older and they want to start going, she'll start coming. But
maybe.
Yeah, and just before we go as well, just do you think you can hold on to the position you're in at the moment, or you think it could be a bit of decline? Do you think he's going to be focusing on Europa as well? Of course, you'll want to win that. That's an avenue into the Champions League as well. If you did drop out the top four, I'm not saying that would happen. I think you're strong enough to stay in there with where you are currently. But, if you're looking at the Europa, they'll want to win it, won't he? But again, if you did drop out the top four and you've won that, you're in the Champions League anyway, aren't you?
I agree, but what you've got to watch, look at these teams from behind now. All of a sudden, bringing in the results. I mean, Man United, I give props to Carrick as well. I didn't think they'd be so close to us on points, but all of a sudden, 3 games behind Carrick, and they're right on us. And Liverpool seem to be ticking again. Still hit and miss, I think, but I still think we could probably qualify for Champions League where we are right now. But I would take a trophy. I think Brady might agree. Any trophy will do. FA Cup, Europa League. If anything, I'd say I'd rather get knocked out of the FA Cup against Castle, so we can just focus on the two competitions.
Knowing your manager, he'll want to be going on all three fronts, getting automatically in the table. He's going to want it all, isn't he? But look at Arsenal. They could be on for 4 here, the way they're going at the moment. But we've seen that Liverpool just fell short doing that, didn't they? When they were in everything, it's very difficult to do that, even the top sides, isn't it? But the Villa, mate, as we always say, they've done fantastic. It's just great, and it's great how frequently you go to the games now. Have we lost you again?
Yeah, it's still glitching. I can hear you a bit, but
we'll call it a night now, just because of the connection. Because you will be back on. We have you on a lot. We love having you on, and connection next time will be sound. Thank you so much for joining us for the 100th episode, though, mate.
Yeah, we appreciate
you've been on so frequently. You've been on. You've been great for us, coming on at the drop of a hat. So we appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I'm glad to come on for a momentous occasion for you.
Thank you very much.
Take care, mate. All the best.
And all the best.
So there we have it, Chris. Connection issues there.
Hey, mate. We got to the very last one.
Yes, and put his points across and all that he did. To be fair, It's just it can be this what we're using sometimes. I think as well. It can be iffy, to be fair. So and it's been great tonight, mate. It's been really enjoyable. It's been enjoyable getting different people on, moving it around. We have people on for a sustained period when they come on normally. So I think it's gone quite well for the 100th.
I'm Stuart, props to you for putting this together and we managed to get through so many people. Because sometimes we struggle to get through like 2 people in one show at times. So to be fair, we busted through this quite well. And I'm really impressed by it, to be honest with you. Because everyone wanted to say a lot more, didn't they? And
yeah, I felt bad.
No, I don't. I wouldn't. I think because you said the time frame, and everyone was, they knew what minutes they had to say. No, it was good. It's good to see Sam. I haven't seen Sam for years, so it was good for him to pop his podcast cherry on the podcast. Good to see Brady and Ant. Sam, as always, is fantastic. We had a lot of Villa on as usual, because obviously we seem to have a lot of Villa friends, don't we? Really, which hey, it is what it is. But no, it was great, enjoyable. I'm chuffed that we got to 100. I'm chuffed what the sheer amount of work you put in today, and to manage it all. It's been fantastic, and well done to you, mate.
Thank you. And to you as well, mate. It's been great doing this together. It really has. And like you said, you've been back now. everything that was going on. We're back. We are back together. We've been back together for weeks and weeks now, haven't we?
Yes.
That's the main thing. And everyone who's come on makes us more. I wanted to get more people on, but it was just like, oh my God, you've got to set it. It was like, I could have had 20 people on, mate. It was just, you'd be going into 4 or 5 hours by the time you've done it.
You get me in trouble.
Because, I'll be getting in trouble as well. But the thing is, mate, it was like, I felt bad because people have come on. There's so many people that have come on talking about their clubs. We've had a litany of teams, haven't we, when you look through all them episodes. So I feel bad, but we'll be getting those people back on, of course. But yeah, it's been great tonight. It's been great hearing everyone's views, even like changing topics with Brady, going into the computer games, because you said that, prior, you were like, we'll do the computer games with Brady, and it was great. Took him away from Villa for a little bit, or went back on to Villa.
Yeah, of course.
And having Sam on, and hopefully his podcast will be happening, mate.
Yeah, I hope for Sam. I think he's got the knowledge and the love for the game. I think with Sam will do his podcast and it'll blow up just as good as he does for his TikTok and his Instagram. He's well spoken. He's articulate. I think he'll walk into a podcast world with ease. And I wish him nothing but the best of luck. And Sam, you'll repay the favour. Don't forget now. Me and Stu will be coming on yours.
We want to get the views with him. Tie us in and get us tagged in and all that. Yeah,
tag us in, Sam.
No, but it's been brilliant, mate. It really has. Again, I said it'd be a bumper episode. It really has been. We did well on the timings. Again, it was just one of those things. People were very courteous, waiting as well. I did say we were likely to overrun with it, because when we start talking about football, anybody comes on, people have got a lot to say, and it's an open forum here. We're a good community. We do positive for the most part. There's negative stuff that you have to bring up, but we do try and center it around the positivity of the game, don't we?
Listen, this is why, right? When we first started football podcast, this is why we didn't strictly do Everton, because. Let's be honest, the last couple of years was just pure negativity, and like I struggled, didn't I? And I was always moaning to you on WhatsApp and what have you about us. I just think the idea of us doing football is a global podcast. We look at everything, and there's more positive in that. I'm not saying being an Everton fan isn't positive, because it can be, but I like how the idea of when we started this was. We're going to do this, we're going to try this, we're going to try this. And then we're going to mix it with going backwards as well as going forwards. And it's all great. And I'm glad that's what we chose to do instead of being strictly, an Everton podcast.
I've got to say sorry to Mr. Dean Mitchell, mate. Sheffield United. This is the problem. This is the problem when you go live, and he was upset, mate. I tell you, I could see it. I
could saw it in his face as well.
I was like, oh no, I think Dean might actually not. I think he's going to leave it. I think he's not going to take part. But this is the thing when you're doing it live, you slip up. I didn't mean to say it. I know he's Wednesday.
If he could have put a knife in your back, then
and I would have deserved it as well. That would have been fully deserved, mate. I tell you. But great having him on as well.
Absolutely.
And I absolutely adore his content that he does, because he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. And we were saying about Wednesday, we just hope they're going to be all right. And just everyone who's come on tonight, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before we go as well, the viewers and the listeners, Chris, just to encapsulate this 100th celebration of the show.
Oh, where'd you find us?
Yeah.
Sorry, God, I haven't done this for ages. Right, so you'll find us on X, Twitter, and it's underneath my name here. For you visual people can see us. For you people listening on audio, is at Footy Now and Then. At Footy Now Then. That's on X, Twitter. Instagram is Footy Now and Then. TikTok is Football Now and Then. Facebook is Football Now and Then. Where else are we?
You've done X, done Insta,
Spotify,
Facebook,
Apple,
YouTube, Footy Now Then. I think it is at Footy Now Then.
Spotify, Apple, all your listening places for your audio. If you're walking the dog, going to work, even if you're in work and you can't be asked listening to your boss, stick your headphones in. No, you have to search as Football Now and Then, and me and Stu will pop up, and you can go through all our library from day dot to current. and you'll
when you go on Spotify, you can go to oldest. So you can go right the way back to the first episode, the pilot episode, where we covered players, and even I think episode 2 was grounds.
It was ground, yeah. Football kits.
We've done so much, and we need to go back to nostalgia. I mean, we've blended the nostalgia tonight with the guests, which has been great. So it's
and
just
when you're going on, hold on, Stu. So when you're going on Spotify and all this, you know what? Just click that button that says you like the podcast. It just helps us a bit.
And leave reviews as well.
Yeah.
I know nobody. It's very hard. It's very hard unless it's somebody like high up in your look, and they've got ratings coming out of their ears. But we'd like that across all ours.
Yeah, make a comment, positive or negative.
Yeah.
We will comment back.
Down. And like Chris says, if you're not happy with certain stuff, that's great because. We'll improve and stuff like that.
We're learning. We're still learning even 100 episodes in.
Give us a rating, absolutely. Thank you so much, mate. And
it's been fun.
Next week.
I'm having a break now, mate. See you later.
I don't blame you after this bumper episode. Thank you again, everyone who's listened and watched over the last 2 years. We're coming up for 2 years on the 8th of February. So nearly there. I think to hit 100.
4 days.
Yes, to hit 100, by the 4th, I think we've done fantastic, mate. To keep it going, because it's hard. It's hard sometimes, to do it weekly. We've had periods off, haven't we? Christmas and stuff like that. But very happy, and just thank you, and just keep listening and watching this because we love it. Take care, everybody.
Ciao. See you later.
Football Then and Now, a fun look at football nostalgia and the modern game intertwined. Join us.